As the dulcet sounds of bullet fire echo around us, it is of course time for a Napoleonic War line battle. Oh, there's drumming! Hurrah! We approve of drumming. It's Pyronics in as the drummer again. Oh, look at that. So anyway, the 17E, Sod Welsh, that poor sod has just been taken out. So, let me tell you about the teams this evening. It is, of course, on the Empire of the French, the 33rd, the 47th, and that's pretty much it. On the opposing side, United Kingdom forces, we have the Liebgrens, and the 17E, the 59th, and the 65th, I think, in there as well. Yes, indeed. Plenty of people, as you can see. So, this is obviously the United Kingdom, and this is the first round. Oh dear, Troyster managing to survive as Chitme gets taken out from the 33rd. Now, this looks to be Captain Specimen, and what a specimen of nature this man is. Look at that face. So there we go, you can see now those forces moving out. And there's Molgod from the 17E. And Maz, unfortunately, has snuffed it. A bullet-related injury. And there's Tercio. There's Vilhe. Now, behind them, there's Sexy Josh from the 17th. And there's Lexington from the 59th. So the 59th with a great showing today. Look at these fine fellows. Look at them all. Oh, look at these guys. Fantastic. With their commanding officer in the middle, Mr. John Oxford. So, 33rd taking some fire. Let's see how the numbers are. 77, 87. So, at the moment, the Brits definitely have a numerical advantage. However, this has the potential to change very, very quickly, as indeed you know all too well. There's flutage. We're hearing fifage in the background. So you can see more fire coming in. Who is this? It is, of course, Chrono Duck and the 47th. Complete with Musician Primax at the rear. And Corporal Bombardier Robin. Epic drumming occurring by Primax. Okay, very quick rendition there. And who's fluting? There's Robin in there with the fife. Oh dear. Oh dear. Steelgate gets taken out and the 47th taking a little bit of a battering now. So you can see now the 59th moving up onto the hill. And they are now going to be engaging this section of the 33rd. Unfortunately, the 33rd has brought reinforcements from the 33rd. And the 59th are going to run into trouble. Those fine, brave Scotsmen cut down to a man. So you can see, unfortunately, the 33rd cutting down the 59th. And Books of War gets killed by Gurkha. As unfortunately you can see Charles Vassar also being taken down. So you can see there's a few members here. There's Tercio, they came in to support. There's the Liebgrens, there's Duckman as well. And down goes Adjutant Gurkha. Oh, look at that. Stabby goodness occurring. Was that... Look, that's what you get. Corporal Heresy teabagging his commander, only to then get shot seconds later. So I think it's fair to say karma's a bitch. So here's Alban from the 17E. And he's having a battle with the 47th, Corruptor. And unfortunately was taken down by Sapper Xian. So you can see here huge amounts of stabby goings on. As you can see, Cadet Chunky having a battle with Corporal Matau from the 17E. Going in for a quick stabby. And there we go. Cadet Chunky is chunky no more. And you can see here, fantastic goings on here. The 33rd. And the 33rd. And the 33rd. and the 33rd. So there's a lot of 33rd here, for obvious reasons. But the good news is look, there's more 33rd. So you can see now the 65th, there's Bigger the Wolfen in there as captain. And there we go, there's Troyster going in with a... Oh, you don't mess with women in the battlefield. As you can see... Oh, and Ripsy gets stabbed in the face by Troyster. As now you can see, poor old Bigger the Wolfen is taken down. And more defence from Troyster of the 17E. Up against 5 men. 1 down. Wee Bob is taken down. He's not wee anymore. He's now dead Bob. Oh, nice block. As now you can see. Troyster. Oh, lovely turn and stab by Troyster into Scottish. And another stab into Boss. So Troyster is on fire. And very soon is going to be cheesed. As you can see, look at Troyster going. Oh, multiple stabs. Another stab. And another stab. Oh, Troyster finally finished off. Oh, Troyster with a fantastic play. And here is... poor old Stoff. Flutist Stoff killed at the end. And he was AFK, sadly. And we're on to the next round. So that was over quite quickly. And so we move on to the next round. And as you can see, the French spawn being watched by the sage and wise two-dimensional bird. So let's find out what they're doing. Let's find out how the commanding officer is. It is Colonel Bob Malog, looking very dapper in his commanding officer threads, I suppose you can say. Oh dear. Oh. I'm hearing drumming. So, let's see. Now, there is another player, Stogie in between teeth. Moving out. And here are the British forces. There's Troyster, hero of the previous round. And Specimen any minute now. Oh, Troyster dying immediately. Oh, that's so unlucky. Poor Troyster. Never mind. So now you can see the Brits moving in a little bit closer. They're dodging to try and get out of the way of the bullets. Asenath gets taken down, so does Newbie, and now the fire has begun. As you can see, these guys dodging left, right and centre to try and stay out of the way of those bullets. The Soldat, another player, gets taken out with a lovely headshot from Billy Bix. Captain Corporal versus Soldat. As the protagonist gets stabbed in the gizzards. And now we can see lots of fire and stabby goodness occurring. Over on the side here, we have a huge number of Frenchmen. And it is, of course, the 47th. Doing their thing, getting into a bit of a stand-up fight here with the Black Watch, which is, of course, the 59th. So the 59th having a little bit of a run-in. You can see a few of those numbers getting out. Getting cut down. There's James Wolfe from the 47th, Lancashires. As you can see, they've lost a few of their numbers, but they are now deciding to move out, as is Private Kling, dodging all over the place while the melee continues, courtesy of the 17E. So, that is the 17E, and there's 65th Colonel Scotty. I think trying to get that line together, as many people as he can. Out in the middle of the battlefield is Sweeties, and Moly God gets taken out. And oh my goodness, that is a crap load of the 33rd. Look at that line. There he is, MrStefan. They're presenting and they're firing. Here come the 33rd. So here they are. We make our way in the smoke. And you can see Tail End Charlie is Private Cameron. So this massive, huge, long line of the 33rd being led by MrStefan. And of course, Colonel Bob Malog, complete on his clippity-clop. So, over on the other side, I do believe this could be the 47th. It is Lieutenant Luke. And there's a bombardier and a musician, Primax, of course, with the drum. So now you can see, I think it is the 33rd. Now taking out the lead Gren. So you can see them taking a little bit of fire as some of these guys are standing and fighting the Tercio. Standing up to the 33rd, trying to get the range. And now you can see here the lead Gren, the lead Grens even. Colonel Ferguson getting ready to present and firing upon the enemy behind them. We have the 65th. And of course the 59th. Michael Nay, and thrice nay. And Charles Vassar at the far end. Oh, lovely. A nice shot there onto one of the 17. And there's Sexy Josh holding on to the colours. So there's Colonel Arthur Freant. Wow, that's quite a colonel. So now they pulled over onto one of the left flanks. As you've got more Brits, the 59th in the centre. So now the 59th are moving out. You've got these guys, the 65th, covering the centre and out on the flank. It looks like a combination of the Tercio and the lead Gren. It is the Tercio, and there's the lead Gren coming in, doing a nice close-up shot. Onto the 33rd. There we go. Some of the Tercio taking down Garbage Z. And now, how is this man still alive? Moving out. There's Scottish. There's Ensign Ripsey, holding on to the colours. Although, to be honest, it looks like, kind of like a tablecloth more than colours, but we shall not complain. As Corporal Bombardier moves out. And the Leib Gren's taking on the 33rd yet again. With unfortunately losing numbers of the Leib Grens. You see Major McFarland up against an entire line of the buggers. Oh! Colonel Ferguson sliced to the floor by Colonel Bob Malog. An opportunistic slice from the commanding officer. Random drumming occurring. So, now this massive, huge, long line. Oh, there we go. The charge has been given. Look at this. Mass charge of the 33rd into the 59th and friends. So the 59th doing their best to try and take out as many people as possible. The 65th and the 17E are in there as well. Charles Lexington gets taken down. And as you can see, a mass melee occurring in the middle. You can see stabby goodness occurring on the battlefield. And there's a Bob Malog. A flying Malog, as you can see. And Peanut Donkey managing to take down the dwarf. And there's obviously the commanding Malog there. The horse-bound Malog, no less. And you can now see numbers. Let's see, 6 versus 21. It's not looking good for the Brits. Who's going to turn and fight? There is Bill Tremendous. His chances of survival are not tremendous. But he managed to force a team kill until he was finally killed by Private Kling. And now defending themselves are the Tercio troops. Who's the last man standing? Apollo the Hinge from the 65th. And he has been unhinged. And that's another win for the French forces. And we move on to the next round. And so we are at the next round. And you can see here, this is the spawn of the United Kingdom. The British forces themselves. So you can see them organising themselves out into their various regimental sections. As we get closer, you can hear the fife and drum of the army.
Come on, you Scotland forever!
The Black Watch there. Oh dear. I think poor old recruit Borer has just bayoneted himself in the foot. Oh, look at this. Doesn't it look lovely? Complete with a dead body right at the start. Fantastic. And there goes Bill Hicks. That's as close as it's going to get for a nice picture. Sorry, specimen. Oh, poor old Billy Bix. And now the British forces move out. Sound like someone shot the musician. As there obviously are the Tertio regiments. Brave men, one and all. Follett, Maylor, Jacal, Redane, Tenfield, and of course, Lilhay, the commanding officer. So they're engaging the French forces at long distance as KGM Flo, unfortunately, seems to have had his gun pointing round the wrong way and shot himself in the head. So, this looked to me like an extremely large selection of French people. It is. Emperor Lawrence, no less, from the 47th Arty. There's Lieutenant Luke. And there's Zippy 94 at the rear. Robin. With a bit of licensed flutery. Or licensed fifage, I suppose we could say. There's Soldat, another player. Moving out with the sections with, of course, Commanding Officer Malog. Mr. Robert Malog. Nearby, or Robert Malog, actually. Or would he be Robert Malot? I don't know. Anyway, as he's on the French side. So, let us fly over and find out what the English army is going to do. Now, two of them, obviously, as you can see, won't be doing much as they seem to have actually snuffed it at spawn. They've left cartridges behind, which is just polite of them. And there's a couple of AFKers, so George Washington has been left behind, and poor old Furry has also been left behind as well. Another corpse as we fly past. And members of the 17E are taking some fire. You can see a couple of members there being finished off as Stoff comes back, and the flutist Stoff. And there we go. A bit of furious teabagging occurring. Oh, there we go. Oh dear, fantastic. And that's why the musicians always get shot, I guess. So now you can see Sexy Josh and friends firing back at the enemy, covering their rear. Fanar. Or their rear flank is, of course, Specimen from the 17E. Meanwhile, the two-dimensional bird follows the battle. And Fox with a lovely team kill onto Chitimi. As we fly over the battlefield to look at the French forces. As Musician Primax is taken down. Lovely headshot there from Martinez. Oh dear. So here is the 33rd with Sneaky Fellow and Tiny Tim at the rear. There, of course, is Robert Malog. Oh dear. Chicken Snack Box. Great name, by the way. So, let's see. Following the 17E. Now, these are most likely the Tertio, I would say. Yes, they are, of course. And now you can see a massive fight going on between the 47th and the 65th. We're moving up onto the hill to find out, as you can see, pretty much most of the battle is over. Here we go. The French forces appear to have been victorious. So there it is, the 47th have been victorious against the 65th. And this gentleman here, Colonel Ferguson, has decided to cheese it away from the battlefield, for obvious reasons. And now you can see the 47th running into the 59th. As the melee ensues. Looks like members of the 59th now being finished off. There we go, there goes Charles Vassar. The last of the 59th has been finished off. Unsuccessful attempt there, unfortunately for the lads. The brave Scottish Black Watch were unsuccessful in their attack. And so, ooh, the 47th, there's Zippy at the back. There's Pyronics doing his thing with the drum. And there's that Lozo in there as well. And there, of course, is Commanding Officer. So, we follow the fire coming in. Now, that, I'm guessing, would also be another section of the French army. Yes, it is. And could that individual be, of course, yes, MrStefan. So here's another section of the 33rd. Lining up and presenting. Fantastic. So Obelix there taking down Aratos, who couldn't give a toss. Hello, birds. You always got to say hello to the birds. That's what it's all about. And as Antoine Lasalle from the 17E gets taken down by a long-distance shot from Books of War. And we're now watching Specimen and Friends. Specimen and his specimens making their way over to the left flank. Or I should say the right flank of the French forces. Batman El American. Good name. Of course, the Tercio following in behind them. A gentleman who seems to be taking a rest. There's Alban. Whoops-a-daisy, Olivia Dunham. Killing Stoff, the flutage. So, a little bit of flutage murdering going on there. Never good to hear. As now we can see over here on the left-hand side, the 17E now being pushed pretty hard by this long section of the 33rd moving in closer. You can see battles going on over there. Let's see if we can lock in on any of those guys. There we go. So here's the 17 having a battle. There's Olivia Dunham with the 33rd. Olivia Dunham taking a stab to the leg. Oh, lovely. Poor old Olivia Dunham then gets killed by Mole God. So those guys continuing over there as now more 33rd comes charging in. And the 17E. Oh, look at that. Brutal, brutal play. As you can see now, the 17E up against it as they do not have the numbers really to compete against this many of the 33rd. You can see there's Corporal Newbie being taken down. Troyster always finished off. And Ensign Ripsey killing garbage. And Peanut Donkey getting murdered as well. And who's this last man standing? It's Tremendous again. Sadly, not so tremendous on this round. Indeed. Now, there is Will from the 17E. With plenty of people behind him. And, of course, Major McFarland from the Liebgrens. And there's Eastwood taking down Uncle Clone. So, the 47th getting ready to line up. And here is Tercio. Oh, Maylor gets taken down by the 47th. Snowy Tiger with a good shot. And now these guys are running for their lives. And reinforcements are arriving from the Liebgrens and the 17E.
Rule Britannia!
So, let's see. 24 versus 24. This is an opportunity for the French to possibly pull a round back. There, of course, Robert Malog. Oh dear, George Washington with a nice kill. As you can see, more fire coming in. So let's see who these fellows are. It's the 47th. Engaging. Oh dear. Poor old Cadet Gerald catching a bullet. And the 17E now going up hard and fast against the 33rd. Oh dear. Bob Malog has been finished off. The Malog and horse is no more. Here is the late lamented Lamog. I think he may have fallen on his sword. It's difficult to say, or, you know, head-butted his horse. It's difficult to say. And so there we have it. The 17E with Hectic Spud, great name, and the Tercio, with a definitive advantage over the French forces. So here is Cadet Cass, as Fake Messiah gets taken down. Oh dear, Major McFarlane killing Colonel Ferguson. Whoops-a-daisy. Technical problems. As there we go, another team kill in there. And the United Kingdom has won that round. And we're on to a map change. We shall be right back. And so it seems that the guys decided to go from the extremely hot to the extremely cold. So we're now in a snow map, as you may have noticed. As there you can see the 33rd making their way out. With slightly inconsistent fluting and drumming. Oh God, are they still going? Oh, bloody hell, I don't know where they go. Ah, there we go, we're at the end. Over here, on the other side, we have the 47th. As you can see, Recruit Phrase, Gerald, the Razor, Goon, Primax, Sean, Chris, Chrono Duck, Robin, KGM Flo, Ludd, Corporal George, Cadet Chunky, Toby, Moshi, Newton. Oh my goodness, there's tons of them. Taylor, Maximus, Slovenk, Recruit Sexy, Kaz, Communist, Hadukai, Private Gavin, Count Riff, and at the end, Colonel James Wolfe. Who's this? We already said hello to you. Anyway. So, that is the 47th. And let's find out what's going on. Because the Brits aren't that far away from them. Nor indeed is the two-dimensional bird. So. There we go. Fire from Tercio into the 33rd already. You can see these guys getting aggressive. The 17E, Heisenberg, he doesn't seem very sure about this. We'll wait and see what happens. As now you can see them moving up the hill. Pouring fire onto the 33rd. So... oh dear, look at this. It's the 47th. So, those 47th are engaging the enemy. As you can see, the 17E. Now, you can see here that the 17E have lost a few members. And are now having to pull back slightly. Unfortunately, Honor Light did not get a chance to pull back as he just got shot in the face. Now, over here is, of course, the wonderful Tercio. As Follette in the far end. As we fly through the bullets flying towards the French forces of the 33rd. Led, of course, by MrStefan. So they're moving in closer to try and get firing advantage onto the Tercio. However, the Tercio will not be staying still. They will be moving on and getting to a better position. Now, the 47th are having a little bit of a punch up with the 17th. 17E. So, let's wait and see what happens. Oh, look at this. The 17th. Yep, it looks like they're about to retask. Look at this. Guys trying to getting into a line. They're getting ready to go. And fire coming into the 33rd as they make a run across. Oh, a few members of the 17th also now being taken down. But over there, as you can see. So let's see, there we go. The charge has been given. Fire coming in from the 33rd. As let's see, there's Ripsy trying to defend the colours. Trying to defend his... And there goes poor old MrStefan. As we've also got another melee battle over here on the side, left-hand side. And Obelix takes down Welsh. And there we go. There goes another member of the 33rd as the 65th. And, of course, the 59th working well together here to finish off all possible French defences. And the Liebesgrens as well. The fine Liebes. So, Tercio and Major McFarland and Ensign Ripsy has lost the colours. This is not good. There's Michael Ney in for the 59th. Let's go and look on the hill and find out what's going on. As you can see, more stabby goodness occurring courtesy of the 33rd and the 17E. Poor old Batman El American gets taken out. There is a flying Mr. Malog. And how he gets finished off. Let's see how things are going. Looks like we've got 3 Frenchmen. Possibly 4 Frenchmen against 4 Brits. Oh, down goes Blake and Deadpool. Killed by Arthur Freant and Albon. So now you can see here. Not looking good for the French forces on this hill. Sneaky fellow trying to defend himself. From the likes of Hectic Spud, Arthur Freant, and Mini Mario. And there is a flying Malog as well. You can see him trying to do a little bit of a saber slice. Oh, Mini Mario killed by Sneaky Fellow. Let's see if we can lock back on that battle that's occurring. Here we go. So down goes Hectic Spud. Sneaky Fellow doing a great job of defending himself. Now he's up against Commanding Officer Arthur Freant of the 17E. A nice stab, turn on a stab. Trying to go for him. But now, unfortunately, Arthur Freant, the reinforcements, has arrived. And there we go. He goes for Cadet Newton. And then gets taken down by Recruit Sexy. So, the 17E finished off in that section. Let's see how many more remain. The 47th and the 33rd. Let's see how the numbers are. 41 and 30. Oh, Chacal Tercio finished off with a nice bullet from the 47th. Where did that bullet come from? There. The hill over the side. So, let's just see. Chrono Duck. So, 47th. And there, of course, is Mr. Malog. And so, let's see. Private Esjb. And now you can see the French forces, who are on the back foot. So let's see. Okay. Tercio guys. And Major McFarland. And the Liebgren. Oh, fire coming in. As you can see, these guys trying to engage the French forces, offering some covering fire to the 65th as they move to cover. And the French forces continue to work. Kill as many of the Brits as they possibly can, in the name of good tablecloths. Because that is a cause I think we can all approve of. So the fire coming in from the French army against the British forces. One section here appearing to stay put. That was the Liebgrens. And the 17. There's poor old Choister, last remaining standing. There's Charles Lexington, who appears to be AFK for a brief period. So, there's another... Oh, no. Sir John Oxford. Oh, they've run into a load of French people over the top of the hill, and the firing and the stabbing going on. Look at this. You can see lots going on. Poor old Bob Malog has just been killed by Albert Tercio. So the late lamented Malog and his horse. Yeah, there we go, see. There's the poor Mr. Malog. You can see now lots of fire and stabby goodness occurring on the top of the hill as the French forces are fighting back against the English forces. How are the numbers looking? The France have managed to get the advantage. So they've got a slight advantage in numbers. The Liebgrens are falling fast, unfortunately. And you can now see 14 versus 4. Not looking good. Not looking good at all. Oh, 14, 13 versus 4. No correction. There are 3 Brits remaining. Private Dwarf, PFC Squirrel, and Duckman. And they have the entire French army after them. Oh, he stopped running all right. Ouch. Duckman with a beautiful turn and stab. Stop running, says Stefan. And he well and truly did. So Duckman unfortunately being finished off. And there we go, Private Dwarf moving to try and attack. And unfortunately being taken down. And we move on to what may be the final round. And so we return, and it turns out it's not the last round, we got 2 more. So, like invisible flute somewhere. Or fife. Okay. So, aha! It's the Tablecloth Brigade, led by their chief chef, Major Stefan. There's Ensign Ripsey holding on to the colours, which pretty much makes him a target, but he's kind of used to that. As Grayscale manages to stab himself in the foot and unable to make the rest of the battle. And you can hear the fire in the background as the battle commences. Now up ahead you will see yet more French people having a run. Oh, look at this. It's the 59th and the Liebgrens. Oh, well, they're all getting into it now. Look at this. The 33rd taking down members of the 59th. Looks like they're being jumped, and in there is a flying Malog, barging one of the Black Watch down to the floor. As now you can see more British forces moving in to try and engage the French on the top of this hill. So there's Kovman trying to defend himself, and there's Bob Malog obviously trying to deal with plenty of evil goings on. Michael Ney with a nice block, and unfortunately a stab to the gizzards does him no favours whatsoever. There's Sergeant Kubi, or Soljat Kubi, and now he can see he's defending himself or having a slight seizure. It's difficult to say. So here we go, more people charging over the top of the hill. As you can see, pretty much most of the 59th being finished off. But the reinforcements have arrived. The last man standing, RSM Maz, the Regimental Sergeant Major. One of the few people left standing against the French onslaught. The question is, will he remain standing? Yes, he will. He takes down one of the enemy, Fraz as well, or Phrase, I should say. So Maz doing a good job of defending himself against the enemy. Nice blocking there by Maz. He's going in for a little bit of a stabby goodness. There we go. Maz with a great play. And now he's going to have to try and get away. Oh, I tell a lie. There's another teammate surviving. Correction. Poor old Ridley gets taken down. And there's Arthur Freant having a run-in with a Stefan. And Maz finally gets taken down as Ripsy manages to catch a sword. And there we go, a little bit of stabby goodness going on. Oh, look, Stefan's now coming under attack from Corporal Hershey. Or Hershey, I should say. Stefan's got it all to do now. He's trying to defend himself. Is he going to manage to do it? No, he's not, unfortunately. Mini Mario taken out. And so, the 17th, complete with Stoffy, the drummer. And there's Jean de Latte, or Latre, or whatever. Jean. We just call him Jean. It's easier, quicker. Now, over on this side, there is Will. And over here are the French, being watched by the bird. I wonder if that's an English or French bird. Difficult to say. Well, you can tell, actually, no. It's a French bird because it doesn't have shaved armpits. Let's see what's going on. Centod Muffin. And, of course, Commander Malog. Robert Malog, of course. And Alder. Oh, taking some bullets. Oh, there's a runaway drummer. Ah, furious drumming occurring from the 47th. Oh dear, a few guys taking some bullets. Communist and Kaz. There's now Setund Muffin is finished off. Oh no, Bob Malog has lost his horse. Oh, that's a serious problem for Mr. Malog now. Now he's charging in with his sabre. You know, go and sabre slice and dice everybody up. So now you can see the 17E doing their best. As you can see now, stabbings going on. And there's a Bob trying to defend himself. And not doing very well. Poor Bob Malog. As the French colours have been stolen by Awesome Matt from the 17E. And Stoff doing his fluting. Now Adjutant Gurkha is around here somewhere, and he's not anymore because he just got slain. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. A round for the Brits, and we're on to the last one. We'll be right back. And so we return to the snow-covered hills for the final round. 89 versus 85. Now, let's find out what's going on here. Ah yes, the 47th. Yeah, okay. So you can see these guys now moving out. You can see getting themselves moving towards the French forces. As you can see now, obviously, we are going up high to find out what kind of movement is occurring. So, you have the English forces moving over from the left-hand side. You can see them moving in closer. You've got French forces to try and offset, maybe stop that flanking attack. And you've now got more forces from the French moving over to the left-hand side. Maybe a possible encircling manoeuvre against the British. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out. Now, either way, this could turn very brutal very quickly as the 47th take out Newby with a kill straight away. Now, the trouble is these guys are going to then be fired on from 3 directions, and they've made the right decision. They've decided to get the hell out of Dodge. Oh, look at that brutality into the 47th, coming in from the 59th and the 17E. Very brutal fire indeed, taking down multiple members of the 47th. Fortunately, they've still got enough to survive, and you can now see the British forces clumping their numbers together a little bit more. Now, taking a slightly roundabout route. Now, it seems that Aledian has frozen to death, or turned himself into a human ice cube. We'll have to wait and see, as the Liebgrens engage the 47th, and now the 33rd French forces move in. As you can see, they're taking some fire, but this large snaking line of French forces are moving on a possible outflanking manoeuvre, getting behind the enemy, as Nightwing unfortunately headbutts a tree and falls off the server. So you can obviously see there the 33rd, their large line. You can see, oh, so close to getting range. The 33rd getting ready to respond, and responding with ripple fire, as you can see, into the Tercio. And there's Sergi taken down. Now the Tercio will have to back off, as you've also got on the right hand side as well more British forces coming in. So the 33rd helping to take down some of the Liebgrens. Poor old Private Dwarf catching a bullet. And up on the other side, you have the British forces now in a difficult position, so it looks like they are being squeezed in between the vice of the French army. These guys will have to wait and see. I'm not seeing any French forces around that area. We'll just have to wait and see. So now you can see the English forces regaining their organisation. Little bit of an organisational mix-up going on there, as some of the Tercio guys are moving out to the left-hand side, as the British forces now looking to fire back at the French, who have now decided to move away from their location and move back into the centre. Meanwhile, some more of the French army are providing covering fire down here. It is, of course, the 47th. There's the 33rd. Ironics doing his duty. Good old Pyronics doing his thing. I love it. Look, marching back and forth. Good old Pyronics. Definite shout out to him. Musicians do not get enough love in my book in this game. So definite shout out to Pyronics for his drumming. Attention to detail. Love it. So you can see here, this is the 33rd. And also there, Recruit Blake also drumming as well. Much love for the drummers and musicians in this game, because they don't get enough. They do not get enough love. Oh, there we go. And there's also obviously Robin in there as well. So, hurrah for the drummers. So now you can see the 33rd moving out. Now, look at this. The British forces breaking and attacking. MrStefan having to dodge those bullets, as now it looks like the 33rd running into a massive, huge line of the 17. And now the 17 are charging in after the first round of bullets have been fired. And they're going in for the melee. Oh, look at this. Oh, my goodness. Overwhelming numbers of the 33rd. How can the 17E survive this sheer weight of numbers? Well, it's not going to help that they take down Jeffrey. But, you know, this was one of the unfortunate side effects as Alban is trying to defend himself. As you can see now, lots absolutely swarming all over them like locusts. All over the place. Oh, the British forces trying to defend themselves. Who's that last man who's standing? That was Sexy Josh. Finished off. And now 41 versus 55 as the final members of the British forces come under attack. However, they have now suddenly changed the dynamic of the battle as the British reinforcements have now come in to support the French battle, or support their friends in this battle. And you can see, there we go, the Liebesgrens. This is turning into a massive melee. Oh my goodness. This is fantastic as the French now, can they turn it around? 22 versus 34. The British are still low on numbers. We'll have to wait and see. It doesn't help when they kill some of their own people. As there's Troyster yet again, and stabbed to death by the drummer. So Robin there with a lovely stab onto Troyster. And Sentod Muffin being taken down as well. And the Liebesgrens also under a little bit of fire, and there is obviously Bob Malog holding on to the French flag. So, and fine attempt there by the British forces. And down here, Private Scottish and ESO Eddie from the 17E. Oh, Scottish being taken out. And looks like he's fighting against the drummer. You don't mess with drummers, as you can see. Oh, look at this. Ah, indeed. And down goes the drummer. So, you can see now the French forces reorganising themselves under the command of General Tabletop, or Tablecloth, I should say. And let's see where. Oh my goodness. It's the 65th, and they're all shirtless Scotsmen. This is scary. Or, I should say, shirtless. There's Jaco in with the flute. He's going to flute them all to death. And here come the sailors, boys and girls. Here come the sailors. There's Stormlord in with a pistol. Gets his big pole arm out. Because who doesn't want to enjoy a sailor's pole? So there's Stefan. You can see now the final member being taken down. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your line battle for this evening. I thank you for watching. I thank all the regiments for taking part. And thank you to the 33rd for organising and adminning it. We'll see you all again soon. Take care.